Why Being Happy Matters.
Yes.
And I think it's maybe a topical, considering what's going on in the world today, that this book would be out. So let's first talk about kind of like the background inspiration to write this book.
Well, Mel, you're absolutely right. The world seems to be dealing with increasing levels of stress and anxiety, whether people are worried about what Donald Trump is doing south of the border, or whether Brexit's going to change Europe overseas, the war in Syria, what that means to immigration, etc., or just closer to home stuff, getting the mortgage paid, getting the kids through school, etc. Everybody seems to be dealing with heightened levels of stress and anxiety. I see happiness as an antidote to that. Happiness can be learned. I learned that having written the book. I talked to 37 people from around the world, Canada, the US, Europe, Asia, and Australia.
That's right, yeah.
And I learned a lot about happiness. How the book came about really was through a guy I met by the name of Rick. And give me 20 seconds, I'll tell you about the guy. He's from Vancouver originally. His mother was a horrendous alcoholic.
Okay.
His father and his mother clashed and fought all the time because of that. His mother eventually died from breast cancer. His sister died from breast cancer. Rick married his university sweetheart. They had 2 wonderful children. She got ovarian cancer and died. To get over this, Rick called his best friend Mike. They're both motorcycle guys. Said, let's go down the U.S. on a motorcycle trip and put all this behind us. Within the first week, Rick came around the bend. There's Mike lying dead in the middle of the street. He had wiped out in his bike. Rick comes back, consoles Mike's widow, Diane. Rick and Diane start developing a bit of a romance, but the fates were not done to them. Diane died of cancer.
Oh my goodness.
While you're sitting there saying, how can
Yes,
this guy
how
be
can this be
happy?
happy? Exactly.
And yet, Mel, Rick is one of the happiest people I've ever met. He knows how to park things and how not to say, my gosh, how have I screwed up here? But I've got this far in life. How do I move forward? And he was my inspiration.
And he's definitely in the book then, right?
He is definitely
Okay.
in the book. Yeah, he's not. He's in the introduction, and there's a whole chapter set aside to him. He's one of the 37 people I interviewed. But he was my inspiration. He's an amazing guy who obviously he has sad times. We all do, but he manages to find happiness and make it work for him.
So, I mean, you talked a little bit about how this has taught you. What do you mean by happiness can be taught? What did you learn through this, through your interviews, and how that transcends to this book?
That's a great question. When I write books like this, I try to do 2 things. One, I want to be inspirational. I want people to walk away from this being inspired.
Yep.
But secondly, I want this book to be a resource. So I have a number of things in the book that you can actually learn from. At the end of the book, I say the one thing I learned from each of the 37 people I interviewed. I also, when I'm doing presentations, talk about my 10 happiness breakthroughs. And one of the people I interviewed, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, lectures in happiness at Harvard University. And listen to this, Mel, you know Harvard, right?
Absolutely.
The renowned worldwide reputation. His lectures are the #1 course at Harvard. Isn't that wild? Happiness. He shared with me, I was quite amazed, he shared with me and allowed me to print in the chapter on him his 7 happiness breakthroughs. And so, I mean, I'll tell you about one of them. For instance, number 4 is all of us should learn to say no. We're all too busy trying to do too many things within a certain amount of time, multitasking when we should be single-tasking. And if you can learn to say no, you can be happier. And so many people can't. Yeah.
I mean, me included.
Well,
That's
there you
hard.
go. There you go. It is hard. It is hard. But if you work at it, you can. Other simple, I mean, this is not rocket science. Other things that I learned were to be happy with and thankful for the things that you have. Don't worry about the stuff you don't have. That's a surefire to depression. Be thankful for what you've got. Don't take yourself too seriously. I used to take myself too seriously. I try not to now. So there are a bunch of things like that, and I believe that people can absorb the happy quotient, if you will, of other people, bring it into their own lives, and it is an antidote to stress and anxiety.
So you would say that you're a different person having written this book?
I am. Yeah, I'm a happier human being having written this book, for sure.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
And I also interviewed 7 PhDs who were studying, like Tal Ben-Shahar, studying what they call positive psychology. There was a lot of learning that came out of that, and it's all in the book.
So then, so talk about now. What have you been doing? You've been touring this, and
Yes.
what kind of it's out now. The book, you can
Yes.
actually get this book. What kind of reception and feedback have you received?
It's been awesome. It really has. I've been doing presentations to Probus groups and Rotary groups and that sort of thing. Doing interviews on TV and radio. And recently the District of Muskoka asked me if I would present to a bunch of seniors groups, because seniors deal with loneliness, detachment from their family, etc. And so I go and I talk to them about why being happy matters, the book rather, and then explain to them things that they can do to draw into their own life. So yeah, I've been touring around, and the reaction's been amazing. I mean, everywhere I go, people want to buy the book, which is great, because I really do want to get it out there and let people use it as a resource. So it's been having a great response. And by the way, folks, you can buy the book at whybeinghappymatters.com. Or you can go to Barnes & Noble and Amazon and Indigo Chapters, etc.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what's next now? Will we see? I know you're in the middle of writing a couple other books as
Yes.
well, but could you see this becoming maybe just one part of a multi-facet series, maybe?
Great question, Mel. Yes, I would love to write Why Being Happy Matters Volume 2. Maybe I'll call it Why Being Happy Still Matters, because there are lots of people out there, This book has 37 people in it. Lots of other people I would like to have interviewed, but didn't have time, or, you don't want to make the book that thick,
That's
and no one's
right.
going to buy it. So I'm hoping there will be a Volume 2. Be exciting.
I guess last thing, I know we've talked about what this book is all about, but I guess anybody that takes this book and reads it, maybe in a sentence or two, what's the one thing that you want people to get out when they're done, once they put that book down?
I want people to say, you know what? Yes, we are living in stressful times. Yes, there's lots of anxiety around, but those are negative things. If I bring happiness into my life, it can be an antidote to that kind of feeling. I can be a better person, a more relaxed person, more content, satisfied, joyful person if I bring happiness into my life. If people get that out of it, I'm a happy camper.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Again, I'm so honored to have you here.
Oh, no, thank you.
Any chance to talk to you about what you're doing. So again, it's Why Being Happy Matters. You can get it at, of course, any bookstore, online as well, and on the website as well, right?
whybeinghappymatters.com.
Thank you
Indeed.
so much.
Mel, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
I'm happy.
Good stuff. You should be.